All right, today we're diving into a court ruling out of India that is, well, it's truly sensational. We're talking about a case that has sparked a huge national conversation about power, about justice, and about the role of the police. And it all kicks off with just one number: 9. Seriously, just let that sink in for a second. 9. That's how many police officers were sentenced to death. And get this, not just once, but twice for the same crime. I mean, a verdict like that against law enforcement, it's almost unheard of. So you have to ask, right? What on earth could have happened to lead to a judgment that extreme? Well, to really get a handle on the verdict, you have to understand the people at the heart of this tragedy. This is the story of a father and son, Jayaraj and Benix. So picture this. It's June of 2020. We're right in the middle of those intense COVID lockdowns. The crime they were accused of? It was so minor, keeping their little mobile phone shop open just a few minutes past the curfew. An accusation, by the way, that turned out to be baseless. So the father, Jayaraj, gets taken to the police station. His son, Benix, follows him there. An argument starts, and what happened next that night was just unspeakable, brutal torture. And the result? Within just 4 days, both of them were dead. And this right here, this is the absolute core of the whole thing. See, Jayaraj and Benix weren't criminals. They were just regular guys. No prior record, nothing. Their only mistake, if you can even call it that, was that they dared to question the police. The court put a name to it. They said this wasn't about justice. This was an act born out of sheer arrogance of power. So that brings us back to the big question. How does a court possibly justify the death penalty, especially for 9 public servants? Well, it all hinges on a really important legal concept in India, known as the Rarest of Rare doctrine. You see, this gets into some deep legal territory. In India, the death penalty isn't something that's just handed out, casually. There is an incredibly high bar, a very specific legal test that a crime has to meet. And that bar is exactly what this Rarest of Rare doctrine is all about. It's a standard set by the Supreme Court itself, and it basically says that capital punishment is the absolute last resort. It's only for the most heinous, the most shocking crimes imaginable, cases where a life sentence just feels completely inadequate to provide justice. Okay, so how did this case clear that incredibly high hurdle? Well, first, the court said the crime itself was so horrific that it shocked the conscience of the entire society. But here's the kicker. The thing that really pushed it into that Rarest of Rare category, it was who the perpetrators were. The very people who take an oath to protect citizens had become their murderers. You know that old saying, the fence itself was eating the crops? That's exactly what happened here. And that idea, protectors becoming predators, really gets to the core philosophical point the court wanted to make. It's all about the deep connection between having power and having the responsibility to use it wisely. And to explain this, the judge used a really simple but brilliant analogy. Think about it like this. Imagine I act irresponsibly and I throw a water bottle at you. Yeah, it's not great, but the harm is pretty minor, right? It's temporary. Now imagine I act irresponsibly with a gun. The consequence there isn't minor at all. It's catastrophic. It's irreversible. It's the end of a life. See, both are irresponsible acts, but the potential for harm, it's just on a completely different planet. And that's the principle right there. The more power you have, like a gun, or the authority of a police officer, the greater your responsibility has to be. It grows exponentially. Police are given this incredible power, not for themselves, not for their ego, but for one reason: to serve and protect. With this verdict, the court was taking a sledgehammer to this idea of an asymmetrical relationship between officials and citizens. It's this sort of master-servant mindset, a relic from colonial times. It's the dangerous belief that if you have a uniform and a badge, you're somehow above the people. And this court just said in the strongest possible terms, no, absolutely not. So, when you strip it all away, what's the deeper message here? What's the timeless lesson that this incredible judgment is trying to teach us? Believe it or not, to really get the significance, we can look to a really old story, one from the ancient epic, the Ramayana. And it captures the spirit of this verdict perfectly. So in this story, you've got the wise sage Vishwamitra, and he's about to gift these unbelievably powerful, godlike weapons to the young prince Rama. But before he hands them over, he doesn't test Rama's aim or his strength. Nope. He tests his character. He tests to see if he's humble, And only when he's absolutely sure that Rama is a good and responsible person does he give him that immense power, because he knows that in Rama's hands, it'll be used to help the world, not destroy it. And that's the lesson that's as true today as it was thousands of years ago. Power, it doesn't matter if it's a celestial weapon or the authority that comes with a police uniform, it is not for your personal arrogance. It's a trust. It's something given to you for the good of everyone. So, the end of the day, this verdict sends a message that echoes way beyond just one courtroom. It's a thunderous reminder that nobody, and I mean nobody, is above the law. It's a statement that the ultimate authority in the country isn't a person or a position, it's the Constitution, it's the rule of law. And for so many people, a judgment like this, it goes a long way in restoring some much needed faith in the whole system. Which, of course, leaves us with one final big question to chew on. This verdict is, without a doubt, a monumental step. But is it enough? Can a single court case, no matter how sensational, really start to fix a culture where power is so often abused? That's a heavy question, and something for all of us to really think about.